يأكل حياة معبل يأكل حفاش في سوكل نيتا زماكل يأكل حياة معبل يأكل حفاش في سوكل نيتا زماكل زلال من حال يأكل بمبار بدليلنا لنا بدرجة نوفا مرحبا وني يأكل كالبيت زبنا نمحان نسلو زلال يأكل حياة معبل يأكل حفاش في سوكل بإريتريا زماكل يأكل حياة معبل يأكل حفاش في سوكل بإريتريا زماكل يأكل معبل يتوفر كم نحبي الانتحار نتكالا نبرز بمتسقاس يأكل بهزبي سبب غلطات حقيق كل حال بخير يأكل حياة معبل يأكل حفاش في سوكل
سلام كبرات تخطاتلتي علم لخي من قصقاس يأكل كمي توعلو لومي كم زتريوو سلسته أغايش حيزلكم متيلخو مساخوم زلخو أنا إيسياس تولدئي كابزي كاب حبرات منقصات أمريكا أغايش يون كلاتهم كابزي كابرات منقصات أمريكا أمي
كمي وعلكم كمي نسوم كابو بزلنايو شمي تقع يوهانس يبال تقمت إتا نيويورك أب أمريكا يزنبر أبال يأكل حبرات أمريكا هوينها دتا تقالن إشتعاغمي يقلقل يعني الله
Right, يغني اللي وزارتها أبيل can you say something تعذبتنا بزعبها نشتيك تقلت لهم
Sure. سلام كلاتهم أنا أبي أنبسط تخلى يبهل أبسيارة ينبر أولنا يأكل دبلوماسي جانتا اللخوكا.
Right, يغني اللي أبيل نبخاق متسي يوناس ولدو بزعبها قن محجونا ماس ميديا يريوخا أماجن إشتين زي فلطخات خطاتلتنا بزعبها قلخت بلهم عدلك بكا.
Okay, thank you everyone. Heji, my name is Jonas Waldu, Night Diplomacy Department, Ms. Baito Yiakl USA, and I'm here to represent.
Okay, يغني اللي كبرات أغايشي ويزرو تخا يوهانس كاب نيويورك مالتيو كمو أبيل تخلى وي أبيل أمبسا كاب سياتل واشنطن and يوناس وولو لاس فيغاس نيفادا. Thank you. أغايشي كمكم سلازم أساخم أزي كمسكنكم يدلي ويزرو تخا قرب نما أخذ أتون تلكي تصبو على عين خدارقا قرب نابتخيل سلازلو ما أخذ أجاز هذا هو thank you تخطات التملون yes أما لومي متنازلو زلنا مغنيات وكلتي بايتو يأكل حبرات منقصات أمريكا ويزرو تخا يوهانس أتو أبيل تخلن أتو يوناس ولدن أبز حلفة سمون أب أخيبا ودب حبرات هاجرات تساتيفو منبروم يفلت ملع علم زنتفو بර්ጌሳውያን منقصقاسات بأكلن بمانزا ويدما بزوم عديمو مس بريزيدنت مبل 78 أخيبا حفشاوي بايتو سبعو مسالات أمباسادر لنس فرانسيسن مس وكلتي حيالة بلاد حبرات هاجرات مزتاي أب سيفيل سوسايتي ويدما تاون هول زتودب ركب بايتو يأكل أمريكا حدا كابتم عدومات كوينو بأكل تساتيفهم نيروم وكيل بايتو يأكل حبرات منقصات أمريكا من إسي أبيل تخلي أبتي ربحة حبراوي سرح حبرات هاجراتن بර්ጌሳውያን كالات علمنا نمدهساس زي تقانعي أخيبا عدل رخيبو كاب زسمعو قال كمزي زسعب نيرو معراباويان هاجرات بحفشة يربطاو حبرات دما بلاي وحزي سدت نملتا أما تاي دمتت مسألة بقي لهم دائما مخانا كدغما كبرات تخاتلتي يقريتا حاونا ابيل ابتي ناي حبرات منقسات ناي سيفيك سوسايتي رخيبو قريبو زنبر حسب معرباويان هاجرات بحفشا ايروباو حبرات دما بفلاي وحز سدت نمغتا امايت مليونات دولارات تراي كابزهلخ نتوم اب كم ايرترا زلو طنقي قصال سدت كوينوم زركبو سرعاتات اكايداتاتهم كعريو نمقصاب انت زسرح زحاشه زبل حسابي نيرومو نابت حطوتاتي كمصي دحرب فيديو اسنيو نت ابيل زبلو كريكم مالتيو سلازي نابت حطوتاتنا خنبلينا منالبات قداما يحطو كحطو دلي زلخو بخمي نابزي سيفيكاو حبرتسب تعديمكم. How did you guys get invited to this civic society meeting? So I will ask Abel first, and then let's ask Taha first, and then we'll go ahead with Abel and.
Jonas, تملش حيش مجمرة بأسا لازمته. Thank you.
Okay, then Jonas, بخميكم تعديمكم نابزنا civic society محبر أب نيويورك سيتي استخايرة أبز حلفة سمون نسخة جلس لنا موز ترفن تليقة أبيلن ويزرو تخانكم الأولكاي. ميت الله.
Thank you, Sas. Thank you for the question. So that's a good question, Heji. The short answer for that one is diplomacy through networking over the years. The same way we got into we were invited to the White House, the same way we were invited to the UN. And moving forward, we're going to keep doing more UN events. We're going to be active, but everything starts with diplomacy, relation building, and so forth. That's how we got into the UN.
Okay, thank you, Jonas. منالبات كم مقصلتا نابيل ويزرو تخاخ من صوت خلو بزيكاهم مالت بزيكا ناي أبلات يأكل كالوت إيرتراويان مساهم تساتفو نيروم دو. I'm going to ask this question in English so that Abel would understand it too. Were there any other Eritreans beside you guys, beside you three, or beside the Baito yes?
There wasn't any other Eritrean groups. Thank you for the question, Isaias. And it was just us. And also to add to Jonas's answer, which he answered so well, we were invited because Baito Yiakl USA and Global Yiakl were asked to come to the 78th UN Civil Society Town Hall, which I think everyone should congratulate and be proud, right? It was a selective group. And Global Yiakl and Baito Yiakl USA has done so much work and has created such a name and so many accomplishments and achievements that they were given the privilege and the opportunity and asked to be invited. And so, like Jonas has said, all this diplomacy, all this network, all this relationship building, all this advocacy has actually equaled up, has surpassed and has compiled into this, right? And so, and we're going to continue to network and continue to work with the UN. But to answer your question in short, there wasn't any others other than us.
Okay, حراي منالبات ويزرو تخا أمنا كلتيهم كتوسخلوا الدلي حساب تلي عدل كبكي كان محتاج محتاج.
لأن ذو سخل لأن زأكل حبريتها هي بمالو زون عب عدل سلزخونة نتهم زعدهم ناون كبرات يهابهم من نبل نحنا ونزقت علي مجمّر يا دامبر قد سألوهم كم زلون نقول لسكبت هتا بعيد لي يعني الله.
حراي أنا لما يقولن لي قبل نزمل لصحته من البات بإنجليزية سلازنا بري نا أبيل ملسي بزي كان سلستنا مالت سلستنا خانة أبالات بايتو يأكل حبرات منقسات أمريكا كال زتعدمي أين برن أو بمعدامنا خان إحنا بتعمي حبناتن كرعاتني نايب لنا كم يقول لنا تاني حمو من البات نتوم إنجليزية زي سمعكم مو نمترجم زأكل يخوم زلخو نباخخ ما ويزرو تخا زي civic society ويدما civic أو حبرة السب زبهال ويدما خدبل كل ناسي انتاي مالتي civic society بحثيرس انتاي مالتي انتاي يخز قبر.
أوكي نس انتاي نزبل زي ما نستوي زخنة بدليتهم قدسات نتي حزب عالم كم نبر كنبر اللوزلو أبوبتهم بزي قدس ناي بوليتيكا زنباليخون عليت هايمانوت بزي فلي نخلو حبرتسب مسؤولو حلو أبتزو نبرلو دما بزبل بخمسة متن مسؤولاتو فليتو مسألاتو نارخبة ክነብረሉ ነቲ ዝፈልጥ እቲ ነቂሑ ዘሎ ነቲ ዘይነቃሕን ነቲ ተወፂዑ ዘሎ ናገልገለ ብድልየቱ ማለት ቮለንተርሊ ዝሕግዙን ዘነቃቅሑን እዮም እዚ ድማ እቲ መበገሲኡ ሂማኒታርያን ሰብኣዊ መሰላት ናይ ወዲ ሰብ ምሕሳብ ከም ዝኾነ መሰሉ ንምርካብ እዩ እቲኦም ኣብኡ ዝሳተፉ ወላ ካልእ ተፈላለየ ፖለቲካ ዝምባሌታት እንተሃለዎም ግን መንግስታዊ ርክባት ምስ ከም ሓይሊ ክረኽቡ ኢሎም ስለ ዘይሰርሑ ነቲ ናይ ፖለቲካ ዝምባሊኦም ብዘይገድስ ነቲ ሰብ መሰሉ ነቲ ሲስተም ነቲ ኣገባብ ኣሰራርሓ ናይቲ ዘለዎ ኣብቲ ቦታታት ኣብቲ ቦታኦም ክነብሩሉን ክመሃሩሉን ክነቕሕሉን ዝኽእሉ ሶሻል ሰርቪስ ዝህቡሉ እዩ እቲ ቀንዲ ምእከብ እዩ እዚ ድማ ንሕና ከም ኤሪትራውያን መጠን ናይ እቲ ዝግባአና መሰላትና ክንረኽበሉ ዘይንረኽበሉ ካብቲ ዓድና ተሰዲድና ኣብ መሰላቱ ዝርከበሉ ዓዲ ንርከብ ሰኣን ፍልጠትና ነቲ ዘሎ ኣገልግሎት እውን ስለ ዘይጥቀመሉ እዚ ሲቪክ ሶሳይቲ ወይ ከዓኒ ሲቪላዊ ማሕበረተሰብ እንታይ እዩ ዘብል የነቃቅሕ ኣብቲ ከከም መበገሲኦም ተፈላለየ ክኸውን ይኽእል እዩ ናይ ትምህርቲ ዝምባሌታት ዘለዎም ክኾኑ ይኽእሉ ወላ መንፈሳዊ ክኾኑ ይኽእሉ ወላ ናይ ጥዕና እውን ዘለው ክኸውን ይኽእል ስለዚ ብሕልፊ እዞም መንእሰያት ብዙሕ ሽግራት ሰጊሮም ዝመፁ ዘለው ናይ ትምህርቲ ዕድላት ዘይረኸቡ ኣብቲ ተሰዲዶም ዘለው ክመሃሩን መሰላቶም ፈሊጦም ከዓኒ ክጥቀሙን ከገልግሉን ከም ዝኽእሉ ካልኣይ ነገር ድማ እቲ ናይ ጥዕና ድማ ብሕልፊ እዞም ብዙሕ ሽግር ዝሓለፉ ደቅና ናይ ስነ ኣእምሮ ሽግራት ዘለዎም ንዕውን ካውንስሊን ክረኽብሉ ዝኽእሉ ብዙሕ መገድታት ኣሎ እዚ ድማ ኣገዳሲ ስለ ዝኾነ ኣነ ድማ ከመይ ኤሪትራዊት ኣደ ንኩሎም ቶም ወለዲ ሓላፍነትና ፈሊጥና ነዞም ደቅና ኣብቲ ከምኡ ክረኽብሉ ዝኽእሉ መሰላቶም ወላውን ናይ ጥልቀት ፍልጠት ወላ ኣይሃልወና ከነተባብዖም ከም ዘለና ተስፋ ክንቦም ከም ዘለና ይሕግዙና ማለት እዩ ስለዚ ነዴታት እውን ዝሕግዙለው ንቆልዑት እውን ዝሕግዙለው ስለዚ ብዙሕ መገድታት ኣሎ ክንጥቀመሉ ንኽእል እሞ እቲ ኣይሆፕ መሊሸልካ ኸውን ብስፍሕ ዝበለ ሰብ ከም ወዲ ሰብ መሰላቱ ፈሊጡ ብዘየገድስ ኣብ ዓዱ ተሰዲዱ ወላ ይኹን ኣብቲ ዘለዎ ከባቢኡ ክረኽበሉ ዝኽእል መሰላቱ ክነቕሓሉን ክነብረሉን ከም ሰብ ክነብረሉ ዝኽእል ዕድላት ዝረኽበሉ ኣገልግሎት ዝህቡ ሰብ ሕልና እዮም እየ ዝብሎም ንሕዋተይ ድማ ደቀይ ክብሎም ኣቤልን ዮናስን እንተጉዲለ ከዓ ይምልኡለይ ይቐኒየለይ ንሰማዓካ ኣለና
ተረዲኣትኒ ሕራይ ይቐኒልና ንሕና እውን ታንኪዩ ምናልባት ኣቤልን ዮናስን ክትውስኽዎ ደልዩ እንተልዩ ኣብዚ ዝሓተትክዋ ወይዘሮታ ከዓ what does a civic society do? What does it mean?
Okay, so ultimately, he says that's a good question because a lot of people are wondering what's a civil society. Heji, civil society is everyone that is helping the people on the ground. Civil society does the work that's needed. Private businesses working with NGOs. Organization like Democracy Without Borders, Doctors Without Borders. These are all a part of the civil society. Eritrean Humanitarian Foundation, that's all part of civil society. Civil society is designed, especially the ones that work with the UN and so forth, is designed to create policies or encourage policies to be created for all these countries around the world. Because right now, for us, let's be real, we have an issue with migration in Africa and refugee crisis. And we know who the ultimate problem is. We know who it is, and we know that's the ultimate solution. Like Abel said at the UN, human rights has to be respected. If it's not respected, you're going to have a refugee crisis. And so that's what we have right now. So civil society is organizations that are designed to help the issue at hand. It could be climate issue. It could be infrastructure issue. And civil society is the one who brings it up to encourage the host nations to do what they have to do to make things better.
Okay, thank you. يغني اللي يوناس maybe إن هذا أبيل توصل له هاللقاء تردياتك لا تحطه بإنجليزية. What is a civic society? يقولون صنيحة. Maybe نسخة أنت توصل له. Is civic society as you see? Is it political or is it just non-political? NGO يقولون صنيحة non-profit organization. So أنت توصل له النسخة تقيلك تقرينيا غيرك أكالك بالإنجليزية غيرك وصل له.
Okay. So a civil society refers to the community of citizens linked by a common interest and collective activities outside of the realm of government. So it includes NGOs, advocacy groups, charities, grassroots organizations working for social change, for justice, and community development. So it's a myriad of different groups. We've seen groups there for climate change. We've seen different groups there working to help respect and restore Native American rights. We, like Yona said, Democracy Without Borders, Doctors Without Borders, IOM, which is the International Organization of Migration, all these different groups that happen to be there, all of them having common interests that overlap in some capacity, but all having their own interests, and they would align and work together. And like Yona said, have the ability to influence, push, or even create policies.
All right. Thank you, Abel. يغني لنا civic society كاب politica نتاع زخونة محبريو. سلازي non-profit organization مخانو نحبرتسب كتقم زخائل صراحات زرحو أبسدت نزلوا هزب زحجزو مخانهم يوم كقلصلنا صنيحهم من البات حجيتا تقصل حتى دحن أبيل ولا سخا جمرة ناتاتكم علامة أبتي مسيفيكاوي حبرتسب زنبرة رخكب انتايو نيرو. What was the objective of you being in the civic society?
Thank you, Isaias. Our goal was to be there and to network. Our goal was to be there and to meet different groups that could align and, support us in some capacity. Our goal was to go there, eventually have the ability to influence policy that affects our people, that affects the Eritrean people. And so ultimately we wanted to go there, and I know for the ones that were able to see the Q&A at the town hall, حتون ملستات, حتون نيروني, دحريتي حتو, عرفتي نيرو بزح سمت يومني, حتيتهم لي, كبابي متخا, انت يوناتكا, ودبخا, انت يوناتكم عنامة. We were able to network just within a few minutes, right after the question. But when you guys weren't able to see it, they came and approached me, Taka, Jonas, very interested in terms of how we can work together. And they've made sure to continue to contact us. The UN has, and they're inviting us to continue to come to more sessions and more activities.
All right. Thank you, Abel. من البات Jonas كتوصلوا تغلو أبزيا. What was the objective?
The ultimate, Abel pretty much said it exactly what it is. I would say, I would add on there, our objective was also to be heard. We were well prepared, and we wanted to make sure, because we didn't know if Abel was going to get called on or not. We didn't know if I was going to get called on or not. No one knew who was going to get called on. Teka didn't know if she was going to get called on. But I can tell you this, whoever they called, we were ready. And so out of all the people, Abel was the first person who got called on. And then he asked the question perfectly. We have several other questions too. But that one question, if you really listen to that question, is significant. That question, he literally gave the solution at the UN town hall of our issues. The solution is the protection of human rights in Eritrea. And there's a dictator out there who's not allowing it to happen. And at the same time, the EU is giving money to Libya. And then by giving money to Libya is fueling the human trafficking problem? And the answer was pretty clear too. The answer was we have to work with the UNHCR. We have to recognize human trafficking as a business, and we have to recognize that the host nation is the people we need to work with to solve this issue. But we also recognize that the source of the problem is Isaias Afwerki not respecting human rights, right? So with that being said, now we know what we have to do by doing that. Then the networking was the biggest part. The amount of people we're following up is a lot. We're going to be working closely with all these organizations that are non-Eritrean. All these organizations are for human rights, environmental rights, and sustainability and development, everything that benefits the society in that region. And that's the direction that we're going. So we reached our objective.
All right. Thank you. كلتيهم صبوا غيركم أبريكم وصل زلهم من البات وناي ويزرو تخاء مملأتا عيدلنيو جن تا فيديو صنحي له كريعة تا أبيل حطوز حتى تلا فيديو ويون رئيتو ذهب لا فيديو كريعة بزعبا أخن الزاربينا ذا تقص الحطة جن تمكروهم كما ينيرو تبلو. How was your experience at the Civic Society Center? ويزرو تخاء أنا بخص كزيا.
هي شهر تومو كورونا تأجداسي خوينو بوغنا يستعذبكو مجمرة هلاونتنا مستي زابتز معبلن زعبين organization تفلتنا تقمنا نقلت نتوم دمصومن تسانو دمصم كوينا او مركبنا عبي عوت نيرو كالاي نغرون بزعبانا انتايخم تقبرو اب تفلالي ختماتات علنا إلنا خنزارب كلنا بطعمي قاليوم تقريمو ولاو نفلطو نيروم تخونا جن خمي جيروم كرخبنا زي فلطو مباروم بقى تسيوم عقوق إلومنا مالتيو تي نتورك زبلو زنبرو بقى فلطو سدليوم تهويخم متيوم خمزي ابت بريك مستقبره مالتيو هنت إنتومن دليتومن بتحد وجن أنا بتناتي خزارب تعوقي سبت حد وجن كاني تايز بهالكوينة مالتيو سان هلاونتنا مقلاسي إذا ما عطوتات زنبل تعاطينا إليه سلازي تحريونا مجرش تاخبله إيه إذا مجمريا مسائلكا خينا حدا معلت زي خونا قصالنت كنغبرلو ابتا كتمانا زلو خمو ناي سيفيك سوسايتي تمزجبنا مساعتهم مهين ناتبهالنا اب كندي سب زغبرلنا خنطقم زي كونه بعلنا خنكايدو بعلنا خناليو زعابي ترى خنصاوت كنرخبلو عدل بمركابنا اذن بعلون بقليلو زمص يكونن ግን جميركا مقداف زي خونا قصالنات نخهلو أكا كتمانا بوبوتانا خينا نزي حبريتاتات ناي ملوات ناي مسرحن نتي تجميرو زلو كنقصللو خمزة لنا يزرداني انتا سلازي خمز خسبنا فليتنان أفليتنان كمز مصانا تجنزيبا أنا يغني لي
هراي صبوق من البات اخر لخين ايشتي اقدم ابيلن يوناسن حتيتهم زنبركو ازي سيفيكاو حبرتسب وي سيفيك سوسايتي زغبرو سرحات انتايو مس بوليتيكا خمتحاز الله ودو الى حتيتهم نيرمو من البات صقنا عاب تغرينيا دقم كتبليها
اوكي مس بوليتيكا زتحاز يبلون خبل بيقعن منتايو እቲ ዝገብርዎ ስራሓት ንስልጣን ክረኽቡ ዘይኮነ ንኸልገልግሉ ኢሎም ስለ ዝገብርዎ ናይቲ how should I put it እቲ ነቲ ሰርቪስ ዝህብዎ ብዝተፈላለየ መገድታት ዝመፀ ወላ ጉድለታት ይኹን ናን ፕሮፊት ኦርጋናይዜሽን ኮይኖም ነቲ ሕብረተሰብ ዘገልግሉ እዚ ከገልግሉ ገሉን ክኸስቡ ኢሎም ዘይኮነስ ከኽስቡን ከንብሩን ሰብ ዝፅዕሩ እዮም ስለዚ እቲ ናይ መብዛሕትኡ ፖለቲካ ምንቅስቃሳት ዝግበር ኣብ መጨረሻ ወላ ሰርቪስ ሃቡ እምበረይ ንስልጣን መሓዝ ናይ ምዕብላል ንሓይልኻ ምድልዳል እዩ እዚ ናይ ሲቪክ ሶሳይቲ ግን ናይ ምግልጋል እዩ እቲ ፍልልዩ ኣብዚዩ እንድሕር ዮናስን ኣቤልን እንድሕር ተጋጊየ ትእሩሙኒ እቲ ኣገዳስነቱ ግን ነቲ ኣብቲ ከባቢኻ ናይ ዘሎ ንኸፍልጡኻ የኽእሉኻ ማለት እዩ ስለዚ ንኽትነብር ኣብቲ ምሕደራ ናይቲ ዘለኻዮ ዘሎ ሰርቪሳት ክትጥቀመሉ ነቲ ፅጉም ክትሕግዘሉ ትኽእለሉ መገድታት ብዙሕ ማዕፆታት ትኸፍተልካ እዩ እሞ እዚ እትፍልል እዩ ስለዚ እቲ ናይ ፖለቲካ ኣወላ ኣገልግሎት ኹን ትኸስበሉን ሓይሊ ትድልደሉን እዩ እቲ ሓደ ናይ ሲቪክ ሶሳይቲ ግን ነቲ ህዝቢ ተበርታዓሉን ተደልድሎን ሰርቪስ ትህበሉን እዩ ስለዚ እቲ ወሃባይን እቲ ኣገልጋላ እዩ እቲ ከዓኒ ነቲ ሓይሉ ተጠቂሙ ነቲ ስርዓት ዘንቀሳቀስ እዩ ስለዚ ኣነ በቲ ወገነይ ፖለቲካ ካብቲ ዝፍካ ፖለቲካ ብዝፈልዮ እዚ እየ ዝብል እቲ ካልአይቲ እንታይ ነራ ሶሪ ናብ ካልእ ከይደ መስታኒ
I think እታ ናይ ፖለቲካ ፓርት መልስኪ ኣለኺ እታ ካልአይቲ ዝነበረት I think ሲቪካዊ ሕብረተሰብ ወይ ሲቪክ ሶሳይቲ ዝገብሮ ስራሕት እንታይ እዩ ኢለክ ነረ እታ ካልአይቲ እታ ናይ ፖለቲካ መልስኪ ኣለኺ
እንሱ ሲቪክ ሰብ እንታይ እዩ ዝገብሮ ንዝብል እቲ ከምቲ ዓንተ ወይ ተዋሂሉ ዝነበረ ነቲ ሲስተም ተጠቂሙ ነቲ ሰርቪሳት ዝህበሉ እዩ ትፍልልዩ እዚ እዩ ተኣገልግሎት ዝህበሉ እዩ Thank you.
Oh, thank you كان يركع عن طبيب ونصبو يغني الليل من البات أبيل and Jonas I just ask تخا that تمكرهم كمين يرو تبلو زبل how was your experience the civic center at the civic society if you want to add to that
yeah so my experience I was extremely impressed on how everything was organized and we got there early. That's the main thing. And then we were able to see the General Assembly. This is where big decisions are made, policies are made, and so forth that affects everything around the world, which is great. And everyone was so welcoming, and the idea to be surrounded by all these organizations that are doing good. There were some organizations that are in 108 countries. There's other organizations like ours, right? We're in about 11 countries. There's other organizations that are deep in Africa. They're from India, and they're in Africa, helping out with religious related, right? And also health related. And so when you have all these organizations around the world, you got to ask yourself, what can you do to help? And the benefit of a civil society is a well-functioning civil society is peace, right? Is prosperity. And then actually that's the theme. The theme of the whole event is peace, prosperity, and progress, right? So a civil society, having an organization that are working collectively together in solidarity creates those opportunity for progress, creates the opportunity for prosperity, and by default, by having that, you'll be able to have the opportunity for peace as well. And so my experience was definitely very, I was impressed. I loved it. And so I'm looking forward to going to the future events. And so thank you, Seth.
All right, thank you. How about you, Abel? How was your experience?
Yeah, my experience was it was an incredible opportunity and a truly humbling experience. It was just an amazing opportunity to be around so many like-minded people, different groups that had overlapping interests, people that were really curious about our situation, not used to seeing us, Eritrean advocacy group inside. Just the approach and the welcome attitude, people very curious. We had the benefit, us three, we sat down and we really strategized about how we want to do things there. We made sure to come, with the help of them too. We made QR codes that we had people, hey, if you want to learn more about us, just scan right here on our phone. And they were able to scan, look at presentations, press releases of some of our achievements, press releases of our grants, videos and pictures of all of our outreach that we've done in the region, in Egypt and Libya and Sudan. They were able to see all of that really quickly. And so they were able to really see our credibility and our preparation. And like Jonas and Taka were mentioning, they're very encouraging in wanting us to come back. They've been in constant communication with us since, asking us to come back, keeping us in line with the upcoming events, even letting us know the planning sessions for upcoming events. So they want us to be part of the UN. They want us to be part of the civil society, future town halls. And so I don't think the experience couldn't have gone any better. And then obviously having my question picked the first time was I just thought it was like beginners, like my first time coming here, and they picked me to ask a question. And again, my teammates helped prepare me. We all sat down and we said, hey, let's strategize how we want to do this. If any one of us gets picked, these are the questions we want in this order. And so I honestly don't think it could have gone any better. So it was a great experience.
Hey, for the record, Isaias, I wanted them to pick Abel. Out of three of us, I was thinking to myself, I hope they pick Abel. I'll be like this. Okay, get out.
And that's what happened. So I'm going to play that video about how Abel እንዳተዛረበ ከሎ ንዓሞ play ክገብረልኩም and then Abel will explain what was he saying in that meeting, or what was he asking to. No, is it not playing?
My name is Abel Tekla, representing Yiakl USA, a grassroots organization of Eritrean Americans comprised of chapters in over 25 cities across the United States, in conjunction with Global Yiakl, who operate out of 11 countries globally. Our key purpose is advocating for democracy and rule of law in Eritrea. My questions are two of the following. Since 2015, the EU has provided Libya with a huge financial aid package of over 455 million euros to prevent mass migration from Africa. Many of the African refugees in Libya are Eritreans. For a number of reasons, the policy has caused an enormous human trafficking crisis in Libya that's uncontrollable and has resulted in the victimization of Eritreans and other African refugees, including torture, sexual gender-based violence, financial extortion, and/or death. We know that addressing the root cause of migration is a key solution to the crisis, namely the forging of a government that upholds and protects human rights in Eritrea. However, in the immediate term, how can the UN collaborate with diaspora and host country civil society to address the scourge of human trafficking in Libya and across Northeast Africa more broadly? And then one more question, if that's okay.
I'm afraid not. We
Understood.
have to move on. Thank you.
It seems that they would not give you another option or chance to ask question. That was good. Actually, I want to ask you to explain how did he get picked? Three of them. Was that a coincidence or that was a setup?
No, it was not a setup. And that's a great question. There was three of us. I would say by the end, the whole auditorium was filled, was almost filled to the max. I think there was roughly maybe about 100 to 120 different organizations there, roughly. And they picked me, right, out of everyone. There was, I'd say 50 people raised their hand. It was not, it wasn't fixed. It wasn't orchestrated. It was the fact of some of the things that Jonas mentioned. We came in really early. We spoke and we networked with some of the organizers, coming in over an hour beforehand, speaking with them, getting to know them, explaining to them who we are. We came well prepared, and we were just making our rounds and communicating with them. And so as soon as they asked the question, I spoke with people before, and they told me when they open the floor to a question and answer, raise your hand up as fast as you can, enthusiastically. And I just did that, and it just happened. Everything aligned in terms of preparation, handshaking, networking, introductions before, and just looking enthusiastic, like I really wanted them to pick me, and it worked.
Yeah, congratulations. Yeah, that was very. Am I still there? Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, Abel, Jonas, you want to say something?
Yeah, the thing is, I want Abel to actually answer it. If you can ask him about the question, because the question was significant. The question that he asked has a lot of meanings to it. So if you can elaborate on that, that'd be nice.
Of course.
Yes. Go ahead, Abel. That was my next thing.
Yeah. So the reason why did we pick that question? There's so many questions we can say. Why are you allowing a dictatorship? There's political unrest in Eritrea. There's
First of all, I'm sorry, Abel. Let me say this shortly. What you said to them. Abel, እንታይ ዝብል ነይሩ ኣብቲ ዕድል ረኺቡ ካብ ሰለስቲኦም ንሱ ዕድል ረኺቡ ኣብኡ ዘቕረቦ ግን እንታይ እዩ ነይሩ ትሕቶ ኣብ ሃገርና ዲክታቶራዊ ስርዓት ኣለና ህዝቢ ኤርትራ ከዓ ኣብ ገዛእ ሃገሩ መሰል የብሉን መሰሉን ክብርታቱን ኩሉ ተጣሒሱ እናሃለወ ኣብ ኣፍሪቃ ኣብ ሊብያ መዓት ስደተኛታት ኣለውና ኣብ ሳይና ይኹን ኣብ ኩሉ ክፋላት ናይ ዓለም ህዝቢ ኤርትራ ፋሒሉ ኣብ ማዓስከር ስደተኛታት እውን ኣሎ ኣብኡ ከዓ ናይ ኩልት ምሻጥ ይኹን ናይ ዓመፅ ናይ ደቂ ሰባት ናይ ደቂ ኣንስትዮ ዓመፅ የጋጥሞ እዚ ኩሉ እንዳተገብረ ኣክንዲ እዚ ሲቪክ ሶሳይቲ ነዞም ዝተወፅዑ ኤርትራውያን ኣክንዲ ነናሳዕ ጠጠው ከብሎ ኣሜን ክሕግዞም ዝፍትን ንምንታይ እዩ ኣብ ሃገርና ንዘሎ ዲክታቶሪያዊ ስርዓት ንዕኡ ገለ ነገር ገይሩ ከኣልዮ ዘይፍትን ወይ እውን መፍትሒ ክረክብ ዘይክእል ኣክንዲ ቀጻሊ ካብ ኤርትራ እንተሰደዱ ውፅዓት ኤርትራውያን ዝሕግዝ ዝብል ሕቶ እዩ ኣቕሪቡ ነይሩ ኣቤል ንምንታይ ከም ዝሓተታ እንታሕቶ ክብረሃልና ሕጂ go ahead Abel sorry
no problem there's probably an endless amount of questions that you can ask the UN about the current state of affairs of Eritreans and Eritrea but why did we ask that we could have asked about the indefinite military service we could have asked about the human rights atrocities or the commission of inquiry that was brought before 2016 before the GA but we did a little bit of research Jonas was sent us and said everyone watch this and we watched the 77th town hall from last year we saw footage of people specifically I want to say it was somebody from Afghanistan mentioning the Taliban and mentioning the political issues that the Taliban has caused and the president of the town hall said hey, I'm sorry, this is a civil society. You need to rephrase your question. This isn't a political venue. This isn't a political platform. We understand the issues there, but this isn't the venue to help you. I'm sorry. But if you can rephrase it in a phrase channeled towards, civil society, then we could help you. And so knowing that, we wanted to, we didn't want to squander our opportunity and ask a question that they couldn't answer or couldn't support. And so we made sure to ask, one of the biggest issues that we have is that's a civil issue is migration, right? And with Eritrea having such a an unequitable amount, an obtuse number of refugees, especially in terms of the population, we wanted to ask that. And I think the most prevalent one was we wanted to ask that in conjunction with a policy. There's a policy that the EU instituted, providing over 455 million euros over to Libya to contain all of the refugees, not allowing them to come up, which has created, paying the Libyan Coast Guard, which has created a very sick, cyclical human trafficking situation that all of us have fell victim to in terms of our family members. All of us have had to support, helping a family member or a friend or a loved one, or even just Eritreans that of get out of those kind of situations. And so we thought it was a good opportunity to question the policy. And like Jonas said, within the question that I asked, I made sure to also provide a solution, which was how could you use civil societies in the diaspora? What I was indicating was use us. We are a resource that you can tap into and partner with to help refugees, right? In terms of and in terms of this current scenario, I would like to say that we were trying to indicate that the solution that they have proposed, the EU, has been problematic and has created much more problems. And so that was kind of like the basis of the question that we all brainstormed and came up on. If Jonas or Taka, you guys want to add any more, feel free.
Abel, I could say this. The question you asked was perfect, and what I like about it is it does three things. Number one, it shows how human trafficking and the money being sent to Libya and so forth, how that's creating like an effect of human trafficking, and it's showing the business side of it, of how it's not good for our people. And the fact that a majority of them are Eritreans is significant. And then directing the question, using the word forge, right? We need to pretty much create a policy in Eritrea where human rights are respected, or we need to have a government that respects human rights in Eritrea. We're pretty much saying that we need a new government. We need to get rid of Isaias. And then moving on from there, in the here and now, what can we do collectively together to work with civil societies and so forth to get the job done for our people? So, I mean, I love the question. Thank you, Howard. And then
Can you guys hear me? Okay. ወይዘሮ ተኻ ምናልባት ክትስኹሎም ተደሊኺ ንእሽተይ ነቲ ብእንግሊዝኛ ዝበልዎ ንሳቶም ንሰማዕትና እውን ግልፂ ክኾነሎም ሓደ ክትውስኹ ትኽእል እኺ
ኦኬ እሻራ እሱ ከፅቡቅ ገይሮም ገሊፆም እንድም ግዳነት እዮም ሰማዕቲ ነዚ ቅድመ ምኻድና ገለ ክልተ ሰለስተ ኣኼባታት ጌርና ሕቶታት እንታይ ዝሓይሽ ኢልና እውን ከምቲ ኣቤልን ዮናስን ክብልዎ ፀንሑ እቲ ናይቲ ዓሚ ናይ 77 ናይቲ ኣኼባ ዝተገብረ ርኢና ሰሚዕናዮ ነርና እቲ ዕላማ ከዓ ስለተረድአና እቲ ናይ ፖለቲካ መፍትሒ ክህቡና ከም ዘይኽእሉ ተረዲእና ኣብቲ ማሕበራዊ ጉዳያት እንታይ ዝብል ፀገም ንህዝብና ዓይና እዩ ዘለዓለ ክረድኡና ዝኽእሉ ብዝብል እዩ ካብተን ሰለስተ ተቐሪብና ለን ዝኸድና ሓንቲ ንሳ ኣገዳሲት እያ ነይራ እቲ ናይ ሊብያ ብሕልፊ መዓት ገንዘባት ከዓ ናብኡ ኢሉ ስለ ዝፀፍእ ነቲ ዕድል ተጠቒሙ ድማ ብፅቡቅ ገይሩ ኣቕሪብዋ እቲ ዝሕጉስ እውን ክምልሸሉ ከሎ ንሕና ነቲ ነዚ ነገር ስቂልና ክንጎድፎ ከም ዘይብልና ክንቅፅለሉ ክንሰርሓሉ ከም ዘለና እዚ ዝግበር ዘሎ ግፍዕ እውን ከም ቢዝነስ ተገይሩ ህዝብና ይሽየጥ ከም ዘሎ ከም ዝፈልጡ እውን ብመሪር ዝኾነ ኣገላልፃ ገሊፅዎ ስለዚ እቲ ሕቶ ኣገዳሲ እዩ ነይሩ ካብቲ ዓለም ከዓ ዝሪኦ ዘሎ ናይ ገሊኡ ዋላ ናሰምዐ ከም ዘይሰምዐ እናረአየ ከም ዘይረአየ ከይድ ስለ ዘሎ ኣገዳሲት ዝኾነ ነቲኦም ሰባት እውን ነቲኦም ዝሓቱና መፅኦም ከቢቦምና ገለ ዝንብሎም ፀንሐና እቲ ጭካኔታት እውን ተዓዚቦሞ ስለ ዝፀንሑ ንሕና ድማ ካብኦም ከምኣቶም ሰባቶም ደቆም ኣሕዋቶም ኣብኡ መፂና ክንእውየሎም ከለና ምስ ሰምዑ ኣገዳሲ ነይሩ ስለዚ ኣቤል እውን በቲ ኣቀራርቡ ፅቡቅ ገይሩ ስለ ዘቕረቦ ነቲ ንህዝቡ እዩ ኢሉ እዩ ፀገሙ ገሊፁሉ እዩ ኣም ሶሪ እንታይ ሽሙ ክኸውን ኣለኹ ግን እቲ ሕቶ ነቲ ንዓና ጥራሕ ደይኮነ ንህዝቢ ዓለም እውን መሃረይን ኣገዳስን ሕቶ ነይሩ እየ ዝብሎ ካልእ እቲ ንቐፃሊ እውን ክንደፍኣሉ ከም ዘለና እየ ክመሃር ዝኽእል ማለት እዩ ካብዚ ዝተገብረ ይቐኒየለ
ሓራይ ብጣዕሚ ፅቡቅ ቀኒየለይ ኣነ እውን ምናልባት ኣቤል thank you for representing us, or all three of you actually. Thank you for representing the people of Eritrea. تتقصل حتى من البات ندياسبورا أب دبلوماسي زيادة نطفات دخوخونو أنتاي متبع كهبو يخيل تبل حتى what inspiration can it give to diaspora to be more active in diplomacy?
Okay, thank you. That's a wonderful question he's asked. Here's what we have to remember, it being a diaspora. How many years have you been a diaspora? What about the generation before you? What about the generation before you? I would say about maybe 4 generations of diasporas around the world. And we're literally in America, Canada, the UK, France, Sweden, Norway, Germany, in short, the EU. Uganda, Rwanda, Sudan, Ethiopia, Djibouti, we're pretty much everywhere. South Sudan. So with that being said, what we have to do collectively is work with our host countries as diplomats, be ambassadors for your people in terms of explaining what the struggles are, and at the same time, get involved in activities to create some type of progress, just like the theme, progress, peace, prosperity. And it comes down to working together. The political side of things, right? Specifically, the Eritrean government, Isaias Afwerki, right? Or PFDJ, HEGDEF, right? All these organizations that's supporting them. One thing we got to remember, a dictator cannot be a dictator without enablers. That's what it comes down to. So the more people we help, the more people that really care about each other, help each other to improve, to be better, to reduce the burden, because we know the struggles of the people, how many generations. So it's our duty to be a diplomat for our people in our host countries, respectively, including in Italy, Germany, all these other countries where they don't speak English, right? And so we need to collectively work together. So I encourage everybody to find a way to add value to your people. Education is probably going to be the core solution in everything. Understand how civic societies work. Understand how governments work. And I truly encourage it. We have the power. By default, Eritreans and Eritrea is an international country. By default. We speak all the languages in the world, including Chinese. We speak all of them. So with that being said, let's work together to protect our people, and everybody should be a diplomat. Everybody should be active. Is my point. Besides, thank you so much.
All right, thank you, Jonas. I'm not sure if Abel wants to add to this. Do you want me to rephrase the question, or you got the question?
I think I got the question.
Okay,
I like what Jonas finished with. Everyone should be a diplomat, and so I always like to emphasize that we're asking for rule of law in Eritrea. We're fighting, for justice in Eritrea. We're fighting for political engagement and civic engagement of the people. And so I think it starts in your host nation where everyone is. It's hard. I think it's a bit cynical to be asking for democracy and a rule of law in Eritrea if you're not leveraging democracy or civic engagement in your host nation. And this is how far diplomacy and the name and the achievements of Yiakl has gotten us. It's gotten us invitations to United Nations. And so I encourage everyone to get engaged, with your local city council. Get to know your mayor, get to know your senators, get to know your governor. Start engaging with them, reaching out to them, start pushing for policies. Because ultimately it can help continue to add to the credentials and the credibility of what we're doing here at Yiakl, and start pushing the hand of the UN to help start disenabling the enablers of HEGDEF, and start putting opportunities and resources back in our hands to be able to take back our nation like we're doing right now. Thank you so much.
Okay, I might add this question for you, Abel. Where do we go from here?
Yeah, no, that's a great opportunity. Honestly, I would encourage everyone to reach out to your local politician, right? Reach out to people like me and Jonas and ask to join the diplomacy team and saying how can you engage with your local politicians. We have elections coming right around the corner. This is a great opportunity to start showing them who we are and why they need to have our votes, why they need to have our advocacy, right? But I think where we go from here is everyone putting on their diplomatic hat and showing it what diplomacy means, right? And if you want to add to that at all, where we go from here?
Oh yeah, that's my favorite question right there. Yeah, where we go from here is forward. We progress, and that includes even in the Eritrean community, Eritrean justice seekers, Yiakl, Bright Future, Fussy Salam, Wolfie Salam, Eritrean Afar National Congress, Eritrean political forces. All these organizations, we all need to collectively work together. That's diplomacy. It starts with us. And then by doing this, we create the solidarity that we need. If we want to create an Eritrea republic, if we want to create an Eritrea federation, if we want to create a democracy, right? That means all the groups, civic organization, political organizations, they all have to collectively work together to improve the lives of Eritreans globally. That's what it comes down to. Mm-hmm. And so where do we go from here? I encourage anybody and everybody to either reach out to Yiakl or reach out to Bright Future or reach out to any Eritrean justice seeking organization and get to work collectively together. That's what it comes down to. And recognize what you're fighting for. You're fighting for your people's rights. You're fighting for the protection of your people's rights. And guess who's in the way? Isaiah Saforki. Guess who else is in the way? PFDJ enablers. So there you have it. So that gives you the alama. That gives you the focal point. So the next step is just for people out there is just to connect with the people that are working and are active. But ultimately, it's going to be activities that's involving to help the Eritreans around the world.
All right. Thank you very much. You said it very well, Jonas. Thank you. I'm wrapping up my questions. I'm going to ask Integrinya. እዚ ምትእኽኻብ ናይ ሲቪካዊ ሕብረተሰብ ወይ ድማ ዓመታዊ ዲ ዝግበር ወይዘሮ ተኻ ወይ ድማ ኣብ ዝቕፅል ናይ ምስታፍ መደብ ኣለኩም ዶ ኣበይ ዓዲ ክኸውን ንዝብል እንታይ ሓበሬታ ኣለኩም?
እዚ ናይ ዩኤን ዝተገብረ ዓመታዊ እዩ። እዚ እውን መበል ዝተኸፈልናዮ ናይ 78 እዩ። ኣብቲ ናይዚ ዓመታዊ ናይ ዩኤን ዝግበረሉ በብግዚኡ ዝገብርዎ እዩ። already ጀሚርና ኸ ስለ ዘለና ነቲ ዘለናዮ ርክባት ናቐፀልና ንዓመታውን ከም ንሳተፍ ዘጠራጠር ኣይኮነን። ንዓመት ክንፅበ ድኾነ ዘይኮነ እውን ኣብዚ መንጎም ዘለውን ዝኾነ ኣክቲቪቲ ዝግበር ኣብ ሓበሬታ ክወሃበና እዩ። በብዓቕምና እውን ክንሳተፍ ክንፍትን ኢና። ኣብኡ ከለና እውን እንድሕር ተጋጌ ኣርሙኒ ኣብ ድሕር 6 ወርሒ ገለ እውን ኣብ ኣፍሪቃ ኣኼባ ክግበር ከም ዝኾነ ብዛዕባኡ እውን ሓበሬታ ተዋሂብና ነርና። ስለዚ እንታይ ክብል ደልየ እዚ ጀሚርና ክንገድፎ ዘይኮነስ ቀፃሊ ከም ዝኾነ ንኸረጋገፅ ኢለ ከም ዝብል ዘለኹ ይቐኒየለይ።
Alright, I was just asking Taha, and the answer was yes. Does the civic society meet every year? Yes, of course. This was the 78th year. And do you have a plan to participate next year? And if so, where would it be? Was my question to Wazira Taha.
Yeah, real quick, Isaias, before I answer the question, I also want to include everyone, even including Brigade Hamadou. We're all collectively working together. I can't miss out on that Brigade Hamadou because that movement, I really appreciate it because it brought everybody together by action, and that's critical. And then what I wanted to emphasize, because I do recognize there's always internal frustrations with different groups and so forth, and I'm trying to get people to think beyond that and just focus on the big picture is every group can believe what they need to believe in as long as it's not infringing on each other's rights, and it's created a sovereign Eritrea. That's what it comes down to, that respects democracy. And then I appreciate the efforts of Brigadier Hamadou, and I appreciate all the support that everyone gives to the organization, because that's a huge movement. That's what I want to add. And so back to the question.
All right. So I was asking, are you guys going to participate next year if they have it? Do you know where is it going to be?
Yeah. So we're definitely going to participate in any activities that they have. It's going to be in Kenya. That's what it comes down to. And anything that they have before that will be participating.
All right. زمت عمت اب كينيا خخون يزبلنا زل حونا يوناس ولدو نايلو مزلن الحطتات ابزي ودي اسل زلخو من البات اموداتا كتبلو تدليو. If you guys want to say something, we just finished our questions. You are free for about 1 minute or 30 seconds. وزارة خاباخ خجمر.
اوكي يغني لي مو كما لبوا خبلو زدلي نحنا أبالات حزب عالم سلزونا تي حدنتنا متحببارنا طرح مس كمان إريتراويان زي خونه أبتسسدنا له زلنا ون أبالاتنا يتحبرتسب كنا أو نتزلونا تدعمنا مستي خبابنا سلا وحسنت نت نهنا كوميونيتن نهاجرنا كنسرح خم نخل كنلالي مغنياتو نحناون وكلتي طرح نايتي عاد تقمطت جزاويان زي كونه نهاجرنا وكلنا مسالاتنا نحلولو خنقبر لنا إلي أمن بزي أقاطعمي نتي نزل نايزيوم ناي سيفل سوسايتي أبالات أبتدل ناي عادتاتون سلازلو مسكنلالي تلالينا تقمت طرح دخلنا أقلقلتون كنكون عدلات سلازلو أو تمرتن قسملو مقادتات كنركب كنا نحرنا كنا بارات علنا إليه أمن نزم افتحي خون زبلو خم حزب ناي ملا علم زلو بستفلالي بهلن هايمانوتن بوليتيكا زنباليتاتن سلازهلو إزي خاب كونه دما تفليلياتكا الرحيقا خند تتعرارو خنكا تسرح بتمرتي إزي زلكا فليلي ناتمبكا بحنساب تسرحلو مقدم مركب أقداسي يخون بلو إزون كمزي طرح كمزي يوناس زبلو أبت موسقتا نمالتي زبلو زلخو إزن نمالت جن نحد حدنا ببوليتيكا مخنيات تفعلالينا أبتي زقبر صراحات تسعررت خونكم كم زي بلنا تي زقرار بنا يبزح خابت زفلالينا سلذي تصوعتا انتايو بزي قدسنا بوليتيكا زنباليتات نتمنى نهاجرنا نهزبنا ببزلنا يا عقمي هاي كلها نتز أنا زودلني نسخاتكم نعمل لهم نهاجرنا نهزبنا نقلقل إليه تابزي تطوك بله خجمر كله خمس جنا كانيروني نزع دل ذهب كان نادما إساياس بتتقبر زلها أقلقلت خمس جنا كايدلي نزع دل ذهب كان يمسكنك نتيوم أقلقالي خابت أقلقلوت كنهبرلون بتانيشتي عامناون عدل نزهابوتنا بصوتنا هابتو بزاقات أمي يمسكن من البات كابناي قالات أقلالصا خاب قلون قلز قدلنا انتلو خينو تناتملالا ناس لزخونه كنتعرارم كنواقع صراح ديكونه كنتعرارم قالنا إلا سلزعمل زوجدلكو تمودو لي بتحتنا يحتت دقيمة إساس بتذهب كان عدل يمسكن نقولنا صبو مشت يغني لي
رايت يغني لي يا ناس ولدو كاب لاس فيغاس نيفادا أبيل تخلي كاب سيارل واشنطن ويزرو تخا يوهانس كاب نيويورك كبرات تخاتاتلتي نلومي زنبرنا مدب Abzu wadina lana, and thank you so much, my guests, for being guests to the media of Yiakl. Hopefully, we'll see you next time with a different approach, the different opportunity. So you all have a good night, or you all have a good day, sorry. And